Record for me. Great, thank you. We want to make sure all of our replays are on here. So to start out the meeting, just give a special shout out to all of our January birthdays. I know Brady, there's if you guys are on this list. Congratulations on being born in January. Many is on this list too, the January babies. But you guys, round of applause for our January birthday. Right. All right. Something happened over
Happy
the weekend.
4th anniversary to Halley. And I'm gonna do this because it's gonna.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
You know, the funny thing is, I had it on my calendar. It was a Saturday, and you know, we were just joking about Halley feels it's 6 years because it was pandemic. I thought it was only 2 years because I don't have the pandemic years. But it's amazing how fast time flies when you're really having fun. And pandemic in between. So 4 years, guys. 4 years. She's been doing an amazing job over here and doing the office. So give it to her.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank all of you. I couldn't lead a team if I didn't have an amazing team like you guys all here. It's been a pleasure. The things that you've taught me so far have been mind-changing, not only for my personal life, but also for my professional life. And yay for making it past the 2-year team leader expiration. And going strong. When someone tells you you can't do something, my entire life, I've always been like, watch me, right? So that's all I need. And my husband could attest to that, that someone just needs to tell me I can't do something and it's going to motivate me twice as hard. So thank you guys very much. Happy to do that. So we want to kick off this team meeting with some new announcements. Some of you guys may or may not have seen emails that gone out, but we just want to touch on a couple things that are happening. First, we have a new face here in the room. Manny, do you want to introduce Doug, who's standing by?
She said, "Man, it's on me." The new face.
Yes. Yes.
Not again. Where's Doug?
Doug. Yeah.
Give me the dog. Doug, it's too much. You know, it's amazing how the cycle works, because when I joined KW almost 11 years ago, Doug was my agent services, right? And Doug is in the system for 18
years.
18 going 19 years with KW. So first of all, give it to Doug. And I mean, whatever I'll say about Doug, it's not enough to explain what kind of an amazing person he is and how much I've learned from him as a new agent and then going into leadership. So Doug, a few years moved to Long Beach, and he thought, you know, this pandemic thing, I can just schlep between Long Beach to downtown. That's where he came from, KW downtown, LA, you know, there's no traffic, whatever. 20 minutes, perfect. What happened later on, we know. So we are very fortunate that we had an opportunity open up, and Doug was, we just ran into each other and just spoke about it. And now he's here, part of our team as our agent concierge. So welcome and thank you. I'm really excited about that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the warm welcome. I really appreciate it. A little bit about myself. I have been with KW for 18 years, 9 years at Keller Williams Sunset Hollywood Hills, and then 9 years at Keller Williams downtown LA. Basically in the same role, but each office is different. So it's a new set of skills that you learn. But my job is to help support you. So the agent concierge is basically anything that you guys need, you can always come to me. You can ask me any question. If I don't have the answer for you, I will try to find it for you. So I will teach some technology classes. We have Command, which is a great service and product, but it is a little technical. So I will teach 3 Command classes a month. And we'll go over contact management, how to get your contacts into the system, how to manage them on a daily basis, and the structure about contacts in general. So if you read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller, the first model in there is lead generation. So what we want to do is define how you manage the contacts when you first meet them, and then if you've known them for many years, what do you do with them? So that's the contact management class. I will also teach a website class. So I don't know if you all know, but you get a website and a mobile app. It's branded for you. So we'll be building that together. The great thing about this app and website is that you could search the entire MLS around the country, and you can have your clients do that as well. So we'll teach that. And then we'll also go over smart plans. So when you want to reach your contacts on a daily basis, monthly basis, you can put them on smart plan, and they'll get automated emails, text messages, reminders for you to call them, task management. So all of that is built into this platform. So we'll go over that. The other thing that we have is a really powerful marketing tool. That's called the Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. So what I'll do is I'll teach a couple of classes on that, and we'll go over how you can basically send postcards directly through the system. It's fairly low cost, but it's really easy to set up, and you could do that on a regular basis. Command also has a campaign where you can send postcards out, but we'll go over the two so you could compare. So I'm really excited to join the team. I can't wait to get started. There's going to be a small learning curve of getting to know all of you, as well as some of the technical details of the office, but that's going to be very small. So I look forward to meeting each one of you, learning about you, and have you learn a little bit about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug.
He knows a thing or two about KW and all the systems, so that's going to be fun.
I love that. So some of you guys may know that we did have an email that went out, I believe it was on Thursday or Friday of last week, to give update on our E&O insurance for 2024. You know, as an office, we always have to renew our policies, and we actually had some good news this year. So Manny, do you want to break this down a little bit for us?
We should have done from that slide later, so I can say from good to great. So from great to good, but this is great as well. Is that what we did? What we're able to do this time around with the E&O carriers to negotiate two things. Number one is the deductible, right? Like in the car insurance, right? If you having going through an accident or what have you, and you choose to tap into the insurance, right? The carrier or the insurance company, then you have to pay some kind of deductible, right? Hopefully, most of you don't even know what it is. But same thing in real estate, right? We have that errors and omission. That's the insurance that we have to carry as agents. We're able to drop the deductible down to $15,000, right? Now, to remind you that in this office specifically, we have a unique partnership with RERN, a risk management company with Laura Peterson, that if the transaction was in good standing and you guys didn't do anything funky and shady, which never happened in this office, then RERN going to cover 50% of your deductible. So now you drop down to even less, right? Now that's that's $7,500, right? And then there's additional discount because of your split. So if you 90-10, 120% of that up to that $7,500, going to drop down. So your out of pocket is really much lower than what it really is. Hopefully, this is the first time you're gonna remember me talking about and you're gonna forget about it until the renewal of next year, because we're not gonna have any adventures, and rarely we do. With that being said, what I do want to stress is that sometimes it's not in our control, and it's enough for a very upset buyer or a very upset seller to go and sue one another or what have you, because that's usually what their attorneys will recommend, because that's the only way for the attorneys to make money, right? If it was a mediator, that's a whole different story. And then the second thing that the attorney will most likely recommend is let's sue everybody, because then it's going to be easier to get whatever funds as settlement. That's usually what happens, right? Here's the tricky part. By the way, before I'm going to say that, raise your hand if you're an amazing agent. Raise your hand if you're an amazing agent and everything is perfect. Well, guess what? When they start digging, if they start digging, sometimes, oh my God, I could swear my TC sent this form. I promise you I did have it. I even dream about it. I'm telling you this, telling you that. You can tell whatever you want to tell. Once they're going to start digging, you have no idea what they're going to find. You follow me? And that's the last place that you want to be at, even if you didn't do anything wrong. We had a session today earlier about Ignite, amazing session by Alice and herself. And one of the things that we said is the most common thing in real estate is location, location, location. And the second thing is it's closed. It doesn't cost you anything. Well, the only thing it could cost you is a license eventually, right? And a few bucks, a lot of them. So always disclose. So you know that you didn't do anything in bad faith, but the opposite. But just to make a point out of all of this, this is good news. Okay, so if you're gonna pay, that's the first bill of the next month. If you're gonna pay January in full, like most people, it's gonna cost only $500 for the year. The cost of the insurance, which is a significant discount to previous years in this office, as most of you know. And if you cannot do one payment, do it monthly. It's gonna total at $600 for the year. So it's still very affordable rate overall. So that's good news about the insurance, and that's all.
Thank you, Minnie. Good news. And side note, if you guys have any questions, not sure, please come talk to myself, come talk to Minnie. We'd love to just explain, the ins and outs if you're not sure what's going on. If you guys didn't see, we wanted to give you just a little refresher if you're new to the office or new to us. We have a lot of ways that we can help you market and not only be the best agent, but look like the best agent. One of the things we wanted to point out was our hardback Unibind covers. I believe we have ones that say Keller Williams and some that say luxury, but all of these can be created by Summer at the front desk. And think about how nice and fancy it would be to have your listing presentation in this gorgeous hardback cover that you can go and drop off to a seller. We're doing a discount. We used to do them for $20, but we're trying to get some of them into your guys' hands. So they're only $15 right now. Talk to Summer at the front. She can literally make them in minutes. So you can have a couple with them, or again, you can drop them off with your clients. So go take a look at them. They're very beautiful, very, very, very professional. Okay, so let's move on to our production. Shout outs to our December closings. We did have still a very nice, strong December. It actually ended really strong, which is great. So round of applause to our December people here. Amazing. Top producers for December. So our top sales volume in residential, we have Live Distinctively, Allison Van Wig, Danny Shavostel, Jeff Loftus, Kendra Miller, Allison Silverman, Jeff Tolbert, Ace. I see Ace back there. Shannon Jones team and Robert Dilly. Round of applause. We have our top commercial agents, Stelios and Lou and Richard Rodriguez and his team. Congratulations. And then our rising star, Trish Jello. I don't know if Trish came back there, but Trish just closed her first transaction last month. So congratulations.
Just to point out, because we are starting to divide between resident and commercial, because we have growing commercial division naturally. I just want to point out, because we did mention that we did welcome them previously, but they're here today. Just raise your hand and say hi so people will know your faces. Doug at the back over there. Doug, say hi. Hi. Doug, Mark. What's up, guys? Missing anybody else? Well, Jen, we don't. Now you can go slide. Doug, Mark, just a few words about yourself so people know who are your specialty and your background.
Gosh. Been in the business just over 30 years, started Inco Commercial originally. They're still located upstairs. We then moved to Centennial for 5 years and just came from Lion Stall, specializing in industrial originally, now doing retail and investments. If anybody needs any answers on DSTs, also very adept in DSTs so that you can save your clients money on their 1031s. If you don't know what a DST is, come ask me. And always in Long Beach, been here forever, but I live in Lake Beach now, and Raised my family in Long Beach, Boston, so.
That's great.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Basically, what Doug said, I joined Doug. I've been in the business in multifamily primarily since about 03, 04. Down in Orange County, and then I joined Doug in 08 upstairs. We've kind of moved around together to a couple different brokerages, and like I said, primarily multifamily, but it's kind of a good relationship where we bounce the product types off each other, and it's been kind of a pretty good relationship. Andy's one of my best friends. So it works out pretty good.
Oh,
So, yeah.
so cute. Well done. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, these guys are in here hustling. You saw them here in the bullpen area. Now they've got their space. So real excited to have you and congrats for your dedication. So let's take a look at our closings. We did include all of those since we last had a team meeting. So it's been a couple weeks. So this list is really long, but Allison, Valerie, Shannon Jones team, Jeff Loftus, Danny Shabatzel ×2, Kendra Miller ×2, Stelios and his group CZRE, Jeff Loftus, the Emil team, Esmeralda, Ace Estates, Robert Dilly, Larry, Valerie, Allison Van Wig ×4, Tim and Allison Van Wig, Live Distinctively ×2, Lenny Figueroa, Team Sopo, the Veritas group, Lindsay Icecarca ×2, and Charles Wren. Okay, ready? What is that? 25 with 199,000. Amazing. Like I said, it was weird because it picked up during the holidays for us. That's what was amazing. You guys started closing escrows and things are moving around, and despite everything that was going on during the holidays, you still made it happen. So congratulations. Let's take a look at our new listings that we've got. Richard Spurling, I don't know if you're in here. I know it says that it's on hold currently. Richard, in here? Yeah. Whoa, 22 offers. Congratulations. That's amazing. That's great. I just wanted to throw this in here because I think you deserve that little bit of a shout out. Congratulations, Richard. Brandy, Adair, you've got this cute one in the Big Bear. You want to talk about it?
Team meeting over there.
He wants to buy it so we can all do group meetings up there.
Wonderful.
It's a really nice.
Yeah, so stand up and tell us a little bit about it. Yep.
I'm
You got a
Brandy.
nice big room.
I know, I gotta, so it's brand new there. I picked up this listing right before the holidays, so we're just gonna start marketing it. But it's a really amazing location. It's right by the town. There's shopping, skiing, everything that you possibly want. And it's really cute in Wilmington. So if you guys have clients that maybe want to do a rental or Airbnb, they can do that as well.
That's great. Congratulations, Brandy. Live Distinctively, they have a listing on North Bellflower Boulevard, Unit 104 in Long Beach. That's just new to the market, $475,000. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath. There we go. Tim Magica has a place in Anaheim, $875,000 on West Beachy Place. What a wonderful street name. And it's a 3-bed, 2-bath. Okay, listing pitches, buyer needs. Does anyone have any listings they'd like to pitch? Things coming on the market, buyer needs. Judy, stand up first of all. Okay, let's say the rules again. We gotta stand up. We gotta say our name because everyone doesn't know who we are. And then say your name.
Okay, so Elaine and I have some new stuff coming up. We actually have a new one that just came in the computer, open house Sunday, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, in Costa Mesa, borderline Newport, super cute, getting a ton of calls on it already. It is $650, super cute, like 1,100 square feet. And one coming up in Leisure World, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it has laundry in the unit, which that's huge. Yeah. That's only not very many in there. $389. We'll be ready to show in a couple weeks on that. New one in San Pedro coming up. Ready to show anytime. It has a casita in the back, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-bedroom, 1-bath in the back unit. That one's $899. And one on hold right now on Holder, but anybody can see it if they want. It's a condo, Cypress, Rape School District, 2-bedroom, 3-bath.
Amazing.
I think so.
Round of applause for Judy. That is a lot of. Great way to kick off the year. I love that, Judy. Congrats to you and Elaine. Alice.
Yeah, I've got a condo coming up in February. It's a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath. It's on 3 stories, on Spring near Pacific. And it's gonna go on the market, I think, at $499.
Right. Alice Spillman, you guys. Alice Spillman. Anyone else? Buyer needs. Dinos. Name.
Good afternoon. Sorry.
So I've got a listing that'll be coming up within the next month or so over in the Hole and University Park Estates. It's a private level. There's still a little work that needs to be done to the property, but eventually that will be done and put on the market. I would love to kind of make something happen. I've got a couple buyers that I'm working with, but if you've got somebody that might be interested in that area, let me know. We'll see what we can work out. I also have a buyer in the Shore area. I think she's a little unrealistic, but she's all cash at 1.5. But it's got to be turnkey. All cash in the Shore.
What's your name?
What's her name?
What's your name?
Oh, my name, Dean.
We have new people and new faces. I love it. Who else? Anyone else? Yes.
Getting a Big Bear listing hopefully soon. A 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2354 square feet. It's not lakeside, but across the street from the houses that are lakeside, so it has a beautiful view of the lake. Looking, not showing the price that we're probably anywhere between 1.15 to 1.2 million.
Wow. And what's your name?
Richard Chung.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi guys, my name is Pete. I'm looking for a property in Huntington Beach area, minimum 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 4.5. Yeah.
Good. Okay, Ace in the back there. Thank you, Ace. Anyone else? Yes.
Actually,
Name.
Emma,
Yes, Emma.
I have a buyer that, she's the seller first, so I need a referral in the Philippines. I have been reaching out to KW office in Bohol that seems to have the partnership closed. So if you have any agent referral out there, we have to pick up and sell. And I do have a meeting coming up in Anaheim by the Tata, by the freeway, 3-bedroom back.
That's great. Congratulations. That's awesome. Anyone else? Good to hear. We have lots.
Hey, Halley.
Oh, yes, Penny McCann.
Hey, I'm in Zoom land. I have a listing. It's a lease on Martha Ann Road, Martha Ann Drive in Rossmore, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it's offered at $6,500 a month. And then I also have the inside track of a very custom home in Rossmore. Not for your everyday buyer. It's going to be at 5.4 million, and it's nothing like it has been built in Rossmore, and they've decided to move to Newport Beach. So if anyone would like more information on that home, to give me a call, and that's Penny 562-370-5574. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. Love it. Contact Penny McCann. Anyone else? Last call. Great. All right, moving on. So, who has heard of the buyer's representation or the buyer broker agreement? Who has heard of this agreement? You haven't, probably a new agent, probably just got your license, but this document more than ever is becoming a part of our conversation right now in real estate. Why is that? Why are we talking about this more this year or in the last couple months than we've ever talked about it? Why? Someone raise their hand. Tell me, why are we talking about this again? More, different. Anyone?
Janet here.
Yeah, Janet. Why are we talking about it more, Janet?
Because of the lawsuit that basically sided with the plaintiffs who had brought the suit against it being unfair for the sellers to have to pay for the buyer's commissions. So buyer's representation agreements are more necessary than ever because you want to make sure you get paid for the work you do for your buyers.
Right. Thank you, Janet. Ding, ding, ding. If this is more of a conversation than ever because of the lawsuits that are going around, right? Which is somehow how our real estate cycle works, that we're very reactionary to what? Being punished, right? And that's the way I feel. Being punished, having more regulations, etc. This document has been around for ages. Some people have been using it for years. But I just had the pleasure of listening to Gov Hutchinson last week when he spoke at the broker tour. Many of you guys were there. I know that we're listening. And he was talking about the best way to protect ourselves from the effects of lawsuits that may or may not be coming down the pipeline in the future year is to start to implement this agreement in our business. right? So I want to ask you, and I want to pose this question because we need to first seek to understand, knowing it's the best way to protect yourself and your clients, why are we not using it? This is the question. I want you to raise your hand and be vulnerable. Why are we all not using it?
You're afraid to ask.
You're afraid to ask. Come on, thank you. Who else? Why are we not using it? Why are we not using it?
I've never used it because I always felt like if you don't want me to represent you, then whatever, bye-bye. I
Yeah.
don't want to represent you. So I've always had that.
Yes, some people choose to not use it because they feel like, let them go. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? What's our fit, Richard?
Not enforced. Lots more clients using it than I have not. Never lost a client because of that. I don't use it. That didn't have a client. But I lost 2 clients that had fires. Then another agent talking to someone and I get it worse. So
Right. How many people have felt that or been in that situation? It's actually really common. It's really common. So these documents, and again, I'm not Simon, I'm not your broker, but I'm just letting you know, these documents are put into place to help keep us out of trouble. CAR and NAR and everyone that creates these documents literally are there to try to keep us, to protect things for us, and to help keep us and our clients out of trouble. That's it. Is this the law? Is this something that we can walk up to a judge and hand them this document and say, this person owes us this money here and there? No, but it gives us an argument. It gives us a starting point to be able to have that conversation. And sometimes situations like Richard's do happen, but there are ways that we can help implement and use this to help ease that tension, to help ease those situations from happening. You follow me so far? Right. So if whether you raised your hand or not, when I just asked you why we aren't using this agreement, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. So I felt the same way as Judy did for so many years. I felt like if a client didn't want to work with me and they wanted to work with someone else, that was just fine. Because why? This document is no good if we don't do what? Enforce it, right? In order to enforce this document, we get the brokers involved, we give it to them, we go to the agent, and I always felt like I didn't want to have that reputation. Now, doing a bit more research on what the document actually is, and now what it's morphed into in the last couple of years with its updates, and its pending update that's going to even be happening here in the near future, we realize that it's so much more than you work with me, I work with you, and that's exclusive. So much more. Now it talks about agency disclosure, more than one buyers or sellers representations. That's protecting you so much more beyond and disclosing to the client, even without getting that committal yes back and forth. So when we started looking into this, and many of you guys in the offices, because I know I talked to clients and talked to Cindy and talked to many of your TCs asking who was using this document, I found most of you guys were not using it or were choosing not to use it. So I found someone who is using it daily and has used it for years. Richard, why don't you come on up there, Richard Chung? Great. So we're going to role play. Yeah. So I got in this good discussion with Richard Chung about this, right? As I started approaching you guys, and I was like, hey, are you using the buyer broker? I know Brady said she does. I was like, are you using it? Are you using it? I kept hearing, no. And then Richard told me he's been using it for a while with his team for years. One of the reasons that we hear, or that I've heard when polling you guys and asking why we are or aren't implementing it, is just the objection handlers around it. I don't want to lose a client. I don't want to push them too hard. I don't want to sit down in front of them and say, we sign this or we don't move forward. And Richard has some great things that I've got on slides that he'd love to share with us. Let me minimize this too, to talk about the buyer broker agreement. So Richard, talk to us just a little bit about what is this document that you've created. If you guys want to have this document, it's actually a script and objection handler. You can go ahead and just scan the QR code right there. He very generously provided us this. So you can take it, it's 3 slides, so you can take it on your way home. So Richard, talk to us a little bit about why you guys use the buyer broker agreement and what is this you created?
Yeah, I'm proud to say that we started using this agreement way before this whole lawsuit happened. So we were very proactive with it. And it was actually a big lesson learned. This is before I was at KW. I was doing a transaction in LA. I was a listing agent, $2.2 million house. The buyer's agent was a KW agent out of the Larchmont office, brings in a buyer's agreement where she's owed 2.5%. And for us, the listing, on the listing was 2% to the buyer's agent. Guess what? She collected 0.5% on a $2.2 million listing from the buyer. The buyer had to cover the rest of that, and the buyer paid. Like, mind blown. I was like, this is the first time I've seen this sort of agreement before. And when we started implementing it, we really realized, you know what? It's not as simple, because everybody's right. It's hard to present it to a buyer, get that kind of commitment. But I've always felt we're in this business to ask. We're in the business of asking. And that's what we do all day. We ask. Sometimes we get a yes, sometimes we get a no. We also don't want to be careless in the way that we ask. And so this script, the way that it outlines it is, I'm a believer in just, there's always a science to it. I mean, I've done the science of sales here about a month ago, and some of the stuff is on there. If you understand the technique and the theory behind your language and how you can gain agreement, is really what this is about. It makes it so much easier when you get to the point of asking, hey, here's the agreement, now are you ready to sign? And that's really where the script comes from. Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, I just want to wait first because I want to take a step back. The first thing you said to me when we were having this conversation is that we have to do what with our clients before we even do this? A buyer's consultation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Buyer's consultation is the key part to the success of this. Even if you take them out for some showings, and after the showings, okay, great, now let's swing by the office, or now let's go to the coffee shop so we can talk about the rest of the details to get you into a home as quickly as you need to. And having that conversation is definitely step one to set expectations, right?
It is important to do a buyer's consultation, whether it's going to be, like you were saying, after the showing, but set that expectation. Hey, after we go look at these properties, set aside about half an hour. This is what we'd like to do. I mean, we have a script for pretty much everything. We have even a script on how to ask for a buyer's consultation appointment. But once you get that, I mean, for us, buyer consultation for every single buyer. And it's not really for the purpose of getting this agreement signed, but it just makes the transaction so much easier when you're laying out the expectations.
Yeah, why don't you go down to the part kind of where we're talking about the buyer broker agreement?
Yeah, the buyer broker, broker agreement is really simple. So after we're prepping them, I'm trying to gain agreement. We use a thing called the 5 yes technique. We're asking them questions based on the answers that they've already given us. So you guys can read there. We're just repeating those answers. After we're gaining the yeses, then I go to I've changed the question number 5 a little bit, just so we know it's like, because of this whole lawsuit, now we've used more of and you're clear that as your agent, the commission that I am going to be paid can be part of what the seller pays the listing agent. So we kind of like change that around for the lawsuit to make that more clear. But it's basically, it's well, are you in agreement with all these things? Great. Well, here's what happens next. So after I've gained all these yeses from them and they're agreeing to, okay, great. Well, then here's what happens next. Let's go ahead and take care of some paperwork. Buyer agreement is a two-way agreement. Basically, this is going to outline our relationship without any conflict of interest, no division of duties or loyalty, without any hesitation. The benefit to you is that if I find out something about this property or even about the seller, even if it's confidential, I'm duty bound to tell you as your representative. Does that make sense so far? So I'm going into gaining some more agreement. So it's all about gaining agreement. And then the buyer says yes. And then, okay, great. Well, I'd really like to work with you. Just as you would hire an attorney to go to court or accountant to do your taxes for you, you will be hiring me as your real estate agent to represent you in finding the next home for you. Are we at a point in our relationship where we're ready to move forward to the next step and find you a home? Then we hope that they say, yes, great. You just need to sign this agreement here. This form allows me to represent you and look out for your best interests when you make a purchase. So I'm really, we talk about FBTs, feature benefit tie downs. I'm just sprinkling features, benefit to you. This is what we're going to do, and then we tie them down. Can I cancel this agreement? I mean, I hear that, most of the time. Well, can I cancel this? Yes. And whenever someone says, can I cancel this, whether it's a listing or a buyer's agreement, I kind of play their side. In fact, if I'm not doing my job, you should cancel it. I want you to cancel it. I would rip up this contract, no problem. In fact, I just ask you one favor. If I'm not showing you the service that you're expecting, could you just please do me a favor and let me know what I could have done better? Just like any other business, feedback helps me so much. I would just appreciate that. Does that sound fair? Every time they say, oh yeah, that sounds fair. And then they respect the fact that I'm trying to get better. that if I missed the mark somewhere, that I'm actually asking, yeah, sure, you can cancel it, just do me a favor, let me know where I could have done better. I would appreciate that, and I think a lot of businesses do that, when you, in the subscription, what could we have done better to keep you? And so that's where we kind of got that from.
Let's talk about objections. This is a big one. Yep.
But and if they're objecting to it, just like, okay, great, you know what, I sense a little apprehension here, that's okay, totally fine. Here's what I suggest we do. Let's sign this agreement for just 2 weeks. How about just 14 days? I'll go around, help you, we'll show you some homes. And if you write an offer and it gets accepted on any of these homes, I will be representing you as your agent. And if we don't, we can extend the agreement or we can just call it quits and cancel it. How does that sound? And if they're okay with that, then we're signing it right then and there. They still refuse, and I say, you know what, look, I get it. We're still in the process of interviewing each other. I'd love to get a chance to provide you the service that you're looking for. And if they're not happy with how it's going, just let me know as soon as possible. Beyond that, we can cancel it. That's okay. And if the third time they still won't sign, you know what, I appreciate your decision. Since I can only work with buyers who work exclusive with me, I'll just have to wish you luck. Let me know if anything changes. Thank you for meeting with me. We'll just part ways, that's it.
Any questions or comments about this? Wrap up? Yeah, Chris?
Yeah, client might want 2 of these agents with buyer agreements. How would you deal with that?
So you're saying that they have more than one agent that they're signing an agreement with?
Obviously not exclusive, but like your first paragraph, if I find you a house, I give you paid.
Yeah.
And you may go and do this with another agent also if you like.
Uh-huh.
What do you
Well,
think?
it's an exclusive agreement.
This is an exclusive.
Yeah, it's not an open listing, so to speak.
So if he has another agent without a buyer's agreement, that agent finds him property, you're getting the commission on it?
Yeah, too bad, so sad.
No, it's fine. So
Yeah.
is there an option to not have that in that? Is there an option to say, per the first paragraph now, if I find you a house, I'm getting paid? Is there an option where somebody else finds him a house?
No, to me, it's an exclusive agreement during these 2 weeks while we're working together. And here's a big aha for me too. I mean, when we go to an attorney or we go into an accountant, there's a certain level of respect that they earn from that being in that profession. We respect them. We sign a retainer, we sign an agreement with them. We're respecting them as that professional to tell us. For some reason, real estate agents have lost that. And I think it's actually, we're to blame. It's our fault for that to happen. I think in most cases, buyers don't even know any better. They think that's what they're supposed to do. It's a signing agreement. You're the professional. Go in there with that agreement and ask for it.
By the way, as a lender, I was always relying on rebates, including commercial lending, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And then there was no opportunity for rebates with many banks, and I had that cross to bear. So I had a letter of interest underneath it, a broker's demand together. And people were signing it all the time. I was so fearful that I had to say, you're going to pay me, a fee and point out it's a point or half a point or so once I did that like 3 or 4 times, second nature.
Right.
Easy.
And I think the important part here is, yes, it's important that we're protecting our commission, but why it's so important we're implementing this now is because in the future, who pays the commission and where that money comes from may be a different place than what it is today. Having comfortability with this conversation is going to allow us when our buyers have to pay for our commission. Because that may really be in the future of our market. So if we're already prepared and ready to have this conversation, ready to have these objection handlers happen, that if someone says, I want to work with multiple agents, where we are okay with taking a stand and where we aren't okay with taking a stand. Right?
Right. Years ago, I think I was in college, I read a book by the guy that started 1-800-DENTIST. I don't know if you guys remember 1-800-DENTIST. Obviously they're not around because of Yelp, but it was a number that you would call. Dentists would pay money to be on this directory for help to help you find clients. And the guy's name was Fred Joyle. And it was a marketing book. So I was reading this book and he said something that has stuck with me since then is the strength of your business relies on how well you collect your money. And if we're not protecting the money that we're collecting, then I think that is a reflection of how strong your business is. The strength of your business is reflected on how well you collect, whatever business it could be.
Yeah, I love that, Richard. Any other comments, people using it, comments, questions, Brandy?
I do. I have had a few instances where agents that I was mentoring use this and were able to collect their commissions when they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So I would advise everybody to do it, and I would do it for longer than 2 weeks, because sometimes, you know, you're 6 months in showing houses, and then all of a sudden they go to one open house and they think, oh, I'm just gonna go straight to the listing agent and
Yes.
cut you out. And if you have that agreement in place, they don't get to do that.
Well, I'll give you, if I could just share
Yeah.
another example, and Angel was with me too at an open house a couple weeks ago. And he actually, it was kind of neat, because he wanted to shadow me. And we ended up getting an appointment with the buyer after the open house. But my script was, well, why don't you stick around? I'm gonna be done in about 10 minutes, and let's talk about your situation, and let's have an appointment right then and there. And he signed the buyer's agreement. And Angel was in the kitchen, like listening in, and I was in the dining room. So it was cool. And this was pretty much the script that I was using. I was using all scripts to get them to sign a buyer's agreement, and, you know, even showed a property this past weekend where it was listed by another KW agent. And their buyer's agent tried to show it. It's like, oh, I already have an agreement signed with another agent. And then they go, oh, okay, yeah, I totally respect that. So already right there, I was protected.
Yeah.
I mean, the buyer already saw me as his representative.
That's great. You guys, round of applause. Thank you, Richard, for sharing. And again, you guys are very welcome. Affiliates, why don't you come on up here while I wrap this up, Sarah? Again, just to reiterate, if you want to have more conversations about this, Simon's going to be talking about the buyer representation agreement in one of the future meetings here this month. So he's going to actually break down the contract itself and answer any questions you guys may have about filling it out or completing it with your clients. But thank you for keeping an open mind and seeking first to understand. Sarah, what do you have for us?
Not much. It's tax time, so I'm getting lots of calls. People need their tax forms. Again, taxes aren't taxes, just constantly. So if you guys have sellers or anyone who's closed, buyers or sellers that have closed anytime last year, they're gonna need their closing statements. I think it's a great touch. Please reach out to me if you want any of your closing statements. I'm happy to send those to you. So you can forward them on to your clients. It's a great touch. It's a great way to just keep, you know, communication with them. If you have any escrows opening up soon, I, for some reason, have a lot of people opening up short escrows, quick escrows, still has lots of cash escrows. Just keep in mind of things that might be on title that we have to remove, things we have to order. I have one that the agent is actually working with me right now to kind of get prepped. She didn't know that the seller had 2 payoffs. And on the second payoff, the actual bank wants a copy of the signed purchase agreement before they'll even start processing our payoff. So just keep in mind what's on title so that you know before you sign that contract, how much time you're really going to need for your clients in order to close escrow. If you've got questions or want to review things with me, I'm happy to, you know, get your title rep, get a prelim, so we can see what's on there, what the terms are, what the turnaround times are, just so we're all prepared to be on time and closing and there's no issues or hiccups, things like that. So,
Thank you, Sarah. She's down the hallway. Sarah, what do you have for us? What do you have for us?
Happy 2024, everyone. Good to be here.
Yes.
Glad 2023 is behind us all. So just a couple things. I'm Michelle Klein with Fidelity National Title, Statement and Search, and Teely is away in Costa Rica this week. So we're not going to do a little demo this week on anything, but we wanted to share with you guys. First of all, I handed these out. If you look at the January calendar of events, we do this every month, all throughout the year. So I brought the flyer just so people could see it. If you're not getting these emails, let us know. But it's a great piece if you guys want to put this information out in your farm. It's everything that's going on around our community and everything. So let us know if you need anything like that. We did put some stuff out also. I handed out with the new year always comes new laws. So the piece that I put out in front of all of you today, it's just the California laws, more of stuff that's real estate related, okay? So it's not obviously all of our California laws, because it'd be pages and pages and you wouldn't want to read all that. But these are just really kind of pertain to you more as the agent. Wouldn't say that I necessarily had this specific flyer out in the farm. I think there's some pieces on here that you can use. And if you draw your attention maybe to the first one on the list, I think it's one of the biggest one. I wouldn't say it's the most important. But now you guys, ADUs,
may be sold as condos.
Can you do that in Long Beach yet? I thought they said
Well,
Long Beach
here's what
didn't
they're gonna-
allow it yet,
well,
no?
It's a state approved.
Oh, okay.
So now what they're gonna have to
Figured it
do is each city is gonna have to go through whatever it needs to do to get it approved.
Yes.
And probably none of them have this done, so they're all going through those phases of whatever they need to do to get that approved. But, they
It's
will be.
complicated too, like, it's not that easy to just make something a condo, sometimes you have to have attorneys, right, you know, HOA, you have to create all of this.
You have to
You
create
all
all of
ours. It's kind of a big deal, so I don't know if everyone would be jumping on that, but we'll be seeing.
Interesting, very
It's just
interesting.
like, I don't know, I mean.
I think it'd be, yeah, it costs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Because, you know, well, anyways, whatever, that is in California throughout now, so, but, you know, scan down through some of those other items, I know we worked on,
Oh, the other flyer, we have another flyer that's just pertaining to rental properties. So if you need a copy of that, we were just making the finishing touches, we'll email it out. But if you want a digital copy of it, let us know, or we can deliver some. Those are great for, now that's really good to use to reach out to the absentee owners in your farm. But especially if they live out of state, they may not be aware of some of these new laws that are affecting rental properties.
it's a great way to stay in front of them, so we were tweaking it a little bit, the flyer we got was, I felt a little bit political, like it leaned one way or the other, and I think if you're handing out information, we kind of want to take that spin out and just keep it more
The facts.
generic, the facts of the law, so we're working on that, but if you guys want that flyer to put out in your farm, let us know. You know, send us, you know, if you want to have it branded, just we'll help you with that, behind the scenes. What else?
Oh, really quick, I had a call this morning, I just want to remind everyone, please, when you're taking a listing, check with title, check with us on how title is held on that property. We just had one today. They were opening escrow, 2-week escrow. It's not in the trust. They have to do a headstand. Oh, yeah. And they're like, 2 weeks. I'm like, no, this is not going to be 2 weeks.
6 months,
Yeah,
a year.
exactly. And they didn't check beforehand. So please always check the vesting, make sure title is how you think it is held. And if there are no issues, if someone's passed away, we need to know.
Okay, and then the one last thing, because it's the new year, so you guys, we've laid out an entire plan for every month of what you need to be doing for your sphere, for your farm, all the marketing, what you want to do, how to target to different owners within that farm. So if you want to get together and sit down, I mean, there's a lot of good information. Caitlin and I, we've been in the business over 36 years, so we definitely know things that work. And also, you don't always have to spend money on your entire farm. There's ways you can go after different niches, different owner types to really drill down what we want to think about. I feel like farming is just, we're going through motions. Treat your farm as your sphere. Let's go deeper, and we want to help you and show you ways how to build those relationships, go deeper in those farms, create those relationships, because it may not be that person that you're talking to that needs to sell, but who do they know? You know, things like that, and who needs to sell. So we can help you with all of that, get things dialed in. Because 2024 is going to be a great year. I mean, better than 23. Let's just give it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, come on up here. Alex, what do you have for us?
Hey, everybody. Hi, coming out now. Notes. Yes. Here we go. We got some low rates. Conventional rates in the low sixes, FHA rates in the high fives, jumbo rates in the mid sixes. This is what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. They did go up a little bit before the end of the year, but we're seeing some nice rates. We're seeing refinances a little bit. For anyone that did a VA, FHA loan, any of your clients that did those in the last maybe 6-8 months, those are the rates that have really come down a bit. So reach out to those people, see if you can't save them a couple $100, $200, $300, $400 a month. Okay. This Thursday, Friday, there's inflation data. That's still what's driving the Fed is inflation. They really want to get it down to that 2% mandate. And until it's getting closer to that, we're probably going to see them keep rates where they are. Once we start getting inflation down closer to that 2%, that's when they think they're going to start lowering rates. Okay. There's a meeting in January where the Fed meets end of the month. Not expected to lower rates then. The next one's in March. There's about a 60% chance they think they're going to lower rates in March. So keep that in mind when your clients ask you about what the Fed's doing. I'm sure they do. That's kind of the latest consensus. Okay. I think because of these lower rates, the theme for me is the move up buyer. Right. The move up buyer didn't really want to move up last year. at all. They're like, oh, we don't want to take on that new payment, right? They still have a ton of equity, but now their payment is, you know, on a $500,000 loan, it's about $250, $300 cheaper than it was most of the year last year. So reach out to those people that have kind of outgrown their house or that want to move up that just said, hey, I couldn't do it because of the payment. Because I think that, you know, it starts to get closer for them now. Okay, that's again going to be my theme of the year is a move up buyer. We can do a HELOC on their current house, get them a down payment, right? So you don't have to do a contingent buy. That's a really good play. Do a HELOC on your current house, get your down payment, use that to buy the next place, and then come back and maybe sell it afterwards. We don't want the prices, the rates, everything is still keeping it pretty busy for buyers. So we don't want to do contingent offers, and we have workarounds for that. So keep that in mind. Let me know how I can help right up front. Alex. You're
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Great. So let's take a look at our upcoming training and events that we have. Bold is coming April. If you guys don't know what Bold is, and let me be really clear, this scanner is not for our course yet. It's just to give you more info. Bold, if you don't know what Bold is an all-intensive boot camp for literally any and all experiences in real estate. It's for the new agent. It's for the producer with 20 years worth of business. It's a 12-week course where you attend in person once a week to a really powerful group of people. This literally is life-changing. You're going to see many people here in the offices in the next month or so say things like, I'm bold ×4, which I am. I've done it 4 times. Minnie, how many times have you taken bold?
10 times.
10 times, probably. I know Richard Chung, I think he speaked out. He's taken it a bunch. Are you still there?
I just did it with whoever you're gonna have.
Yeah.
And I'll do it again.
Yeah, and I love that. Again, bold is so fun. Brandy's a great team leader. She's done that before too. So you guys come and talk to us about Bold. Start getting excited, get signed up. We have one of the best educators in the country coming to teach it. His name is Cody Gibson. If you've ever heard of him, he is the head of United Home Group and one of the best speakers, head of K-Win as well when they release that. So it's going to be a do not miss. So to give you a little bit more info about Bold, you can scan that, but we're going to bring more info to you in the coming months, exact start date, how to get started, and we'll kind of go from there. So come talk to us if you want to learn a little bit more. Okay, great. We have our commercial meeting that's happening literally here just now in a couple minutes, starting our first 2024 together. Minnie and Jason are talking about the commercial group. You guys are networking and introducing each other. So that's happening here in just a few minutes. Simon's Guide to the Residential Purchase Agreement, or RPA, from the broker's perspective. That's happening today during his forums training at 3 to 4 p.m. It's on Zoom. And then Minnie is interviewing Allison Silverman this Friday for Producers Club. So make sure you guys hop on there. We do have a session every day, but every Friday we're joined by a producer. So Minnie did touch on this. We had a wonderful kickoff to our Ignite series that just happened today. Look at all these amazing faces up here of people that are going to be coming to you and bringing more and more Ignite sessions in the coming days. Reminder, this next session is on Thursday. That is from 12 to 3 p.m. And we're going to be learning again from Alice, connect with your market. And then Stefan is going to be talking about defining your value. But you're going to see a lot of courses on there, from social media to farming. I know Dinos is doing one talking about it. I know Richard Chung is back there. So there is a lot of people on this list. Make sure you come. Again, great for all walks of life. So MREA Book Club, Keller Williams International, this is set by them, is hosting an MREA Book Club, where they will do different pieces of the MREA every week on Thursdays from 3 to 4 Central Time. So do the conversion. I know this first one is actually being taught, I believe, by Jean Rivers, who's an amazing educator. And this is, I think, no cost too. It's a 6-week course. You can just scan and register. It's going to break down the Millionaire Real Estate Agent into little chunks and pieces, step by step, and then talk really about the fundamentals, because why the MREA is still relevant. Command opportunities with Mina. Mina will be teaching command opportunities at least once a month, if not twice a month. So basically how to get paid, how to use our checks and balances system for compliance. She's there walking through each step of the way. I know if you hire a TC, you don't necessarily need to do that yourself, but it is important that we understand the general picture so that as we're overseeing our transaction coordinators, since we're responsible for their work, yes, we do know how to have that or make that done. So please join Mina and she'll walk you through that. That's going to be happening January 19th. From 11 to 11:30. KW Family Hike happening January 28th. It's in the PV area on the Palos Verdes Estate Shoreline Preserve. Really, really pretty walk. Come get outdoors with us on Sunday, the 28th. And where's the team? Oh, look at Summer. Oh, nice. So we want to do a quick kickoff. You guys start passing around and grabbing. We want to end the team meeting on a really positive, very good note. So grab your champagne or grab your Martinellis and let's do a toast together. So let's start hitting the microphone for people around there. Yeah, great. Let's do champagne or Martinelli's toast. If you guys aren't drinkers, grab a glass. Grab a glass. Grab a glass. Grab a glass, let's give it to Hope. All right, what team grab your glass? Does everyone have a glass? Can I have your attention? Cindy's got a bottle. I love it. Everyone grab a glass, come sit back down. Grab a glass. You guys can keep handing them out. All right. So we're gonna do this toast together. Can everyone see the screen? Great. This is our mission of Keller Williams. And I thought rather than standing up here, Benny, where's your glass?
I'm taking a picture.
Okay.
Everybody.
Great, everyone see the screen. So instead of us sitting up here giving a toast, I thought no better words than actually the words of our company and the mission of our company, which I personally believe in over everything. So we're going to do this toast all together. So we're going to start from the top and we're going to read it out loud and proud, just like 2024 needs to start, and no drinking until the end of it. You got it? Okay, ready? Let's all do this together. Start at the beginning. Ready? To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And with that, team meeting's over. Thank you guys. Thank you so very much.
I feel taller with you next
Enjoy
to me.
it. Yeah. One o'clock, our time too. I know. We're thinking about how we'll be on time. Okay, I try to be. I know you. We've got literally 2 minutes. It's for everyone. Great idea. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Greg. Bye, Zoom. Thank you. Cheers to you.